several times already, but I just wanted to express my concern once again about the human rights violations that are occurring in our Virginia prison system, which accounts for more than $1.5 billion of our Commonwealth's budget. I've been in communication with the families and inmates of Keene Mountain, Red Onion, as well as additional state correctional facilities. Over the last few months, I've received endless letters, calls, and emails from inmates, their loved ones, and advocacy groups who directly work with this population. I would have liked to see it for myself, and I was very disappointed on December 28th when my scheduled visit, along with Delegate Webert's team, was canceled last minute, and that was about 2 weeks ago. The stories I hear are troubling and paint a very disturbing picture of Virginia's prisons. So I have several questions for you, and I'm sure Chairman Simon would really appreciate if you keep those answers short. First, I want to address the reports of unsafe and unsanitary living conditions. There's so much to talk about here. Sewage problems, unsafe drinking water, cells without ventilation, extreme heat. The list of concerns I hear from inmates go on and on. One item I hear over and over again is reports of widespread black mold, which I have asked you about, and your staff has informed you and me that this is not true. Here's one of the testimonies I received. I've been exposed to black mold, and everybody around me has also. I've been complaining about this since April 19th, 2023, when they first started working in the shower in B2 housing unit. Every day I live in physical pain from being exposed to black mold, sharp pain all over my body, shortness of breath, diarrhea. Sometimes I can't even talk in the mornings from my throat being sore. Every day I pray for my second chance at life because some night I fear I won't wake up in the morning from suffering from being exposed to black mold. Related, I've also received multiple testimonies from inmates that note that your facility paints over black mold to cover it up when people come in for inspection. So I would love to hear your response to these allegations, and how do you plan on ensuring that Virginia's prisons operate in a sanitary, healthy environment moving forward?
Thank you, Delegate. I do appreciate the conversations we've already had and our continued conversations that we'll have. And I do apologize again that we weren't able to make that happen. I do want to get you to any of our prisons as soon as we can. I'm happy to. I'll try to bend over backwards to make that happen. I want you to see for yourself what's happening and let you determine for yourself. You can hear me talk, but I want you to see for yourself what's actually going on. With respect to the black mold issue that you brought it to our attention, everything that you bring to our attention, but not just everything you bring to our attention, everything anyone here brings to our attention, but even random emails we're getting from the public. We investigate. We look into every one of them, and I take them very seriously. With respect to the black mold, it was at Keene Mountain. It was the first reports we got. We had someone come in from outside. I'm happy to provide you the report, the information on someone outside the Department of Corrections come look and inspect to see if there was black mold, and it was not found. But I want to say this with respect to that complaint and any complaints that I know many of you are hearing. Amazingly, people complain about the Department of Corrections. I don't come from a corrections background. This is what I want you to understand. I come from what I call corrections adjacent. I was a prosecutor. I was a judge. I was on the parole board, but I've never been inside corrections. I don't presume that any of these reports are false just because they're being made against the Department of Corrections. I'm not here to tell you the Department of Corrections is perfect. I'll tell you that around the country, the Virginia Department of Corrections is considered maybe the premier corrections system, but that doesn't mean that we're perfect. And the last thing I want is anyone in our care to be affected by black mold or any of these other issues. So I'm happy to have investigated everything, and I'm not going to come into it with the presumption that we're perfect. Okay, I can pledge to this department. I think we're doing a lot of great things. I've been amazed at the great things, the people that are dedicated to their job at the Department of Corrections since I've been there. But my eyes are wide open, okay? And so I'm happy to hear those reports that you're getting, because if it's true, I want to get to the bottom of it. And I know I need to keep my answers brief, but just one last thing I'll say is that the circuit that I sat in had two maximum security prisons in it, Red Onion and Wallens Ridge, as a judge. And I received handwritten lawsuits every day from inmates in those. And the vast majority of those handwritten lawsuits there's nothing to them. They were garbage suits. Sometimes they weren't, though. And I had to read every one of them carefully to make sure that there wasn't someone's rights being violated. It's the way I look at it with this. I have to take seriously every complaint, every report that we get, because I don't want to miss the one that or 10 or 20, how many reports we get. I don't want to miss them. We have a responsibility to the communities that we serve, to Virginia, but also to those that are in our care.
Thank you, Delegate Siebel. Thank you, Mr.